What's going on, guys? So instead of a live, I'm gonna go ahead and make a sizable video. Hopefully, it's not too long. I gotta go get something to eat and get ready for the weekend. It's been a rough week for sure. A lot of work, a lot of staying up. I'm broken sleep schedule. Whew. If you know, you know. Um, so now basically we're down to the third. And find what I think of how we're transcending and how we're learning as we go along with this market. Um, Now, first, let me say this, guys. We've been learning, like as you see in my last previous few videos. I was walking you through like what I've been going through in a way, in a general way, from across all, like what I personally think has been kind of either halting us or keeping us away from going through to the promised land that we're trying to get to. So now finally we get to this after the repo and reverse repo talks and everything that I was talking about and all that stuff. Now that have come is beginning to come to an end, and the feds have announced it yesterday. Now we're jumping on to the third basically monster that is allegedly, we'll say, but personally I think that's what's been happening. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, guys, but allegedly, our abuse in the dark pools, and basically how they were able to package us up in portfolios somehow and shipping us in the same portfolio and documents to to the feds, to get to the bank, and then from the bank to the feds, or if it was a big broker or an institution, rather than just a bank, then they were going directly. However way they were packaging it, but they were putting all these synthetics in there. I just want to give you guys an idea that there is something called debt sale. Like some out there, there are some countries that buy debt, like and that's a video for itself, and you could go and do your own little fun DD on that, and that could possibly give you some like hints about how global financial falls happen, because again, you got what I'm trying to tell you, and then now you could go and do your own little DD on that, and this is gonna take you to a different world. Fun information though. So we saw that there was allegedly about the dark pools and their abuse, that we're getting abused in the dark pool over there, and it is, in my opinion, 100%. Now, obviously, this has had to coexist so that the other can exist, like the repo and reverse repo, for it to go high in numbers and like the amount and the capital for it. They needed to show more, which means they had to abuse us more in dark pools, and they had to abuse us more with creating all these synthetics and everything, so that they can get more money from the government. That's all inclusive, and including all the money that they're winning from screwing over the investors, the common investor, to just all that, just to keep the price suppressed and get by for another day forward, and to keep moving forward. Now that the idea of the repo and reverse repo, the feds have stopped it, because the idea is that the money is so much into the market that they're coming back reverse repoing, and it's going up. That's some of the signs. When that number keeps going up, that means the banks or the market doesn't need the Fed's help anymore. Now, here's the funny part. That's a facade to what the reality is. Like, the reason why the Feds was putting money in the market, whether their intentions, and they didn't know anything about any of this abuse happening in the dark pools, and their intentions were genuine, or not, it does not matter, because the true reason why they were needed in there was just to be a financier to this whole gimmick. I mean, they let's face it, the only thing that was keeping these hedge funds alive and all these short positions alive and moving forward and keep playing, manipulating the system, is the funding of the Feds. I mean, the funding of the Feds was kept putting money and kept giving money and liquidity into the market, so that anybody who wanted to do something like that, and they were, whether they knew or not, is besides the point. I hope they did not know about this, just because of my belief in the American democracy and the dream and all. I just don't want, and none of us would want that to be the case. I doubt that even if that was the case, that will ever come out to light, because it's just much bigger than the case. But I'm just giving you like my real thoughts on this, what I personally feel, about this and how I think of that. So anyways, whether they knew or not, that was the number one life support system that the market maker and the hedge funds needed to thrive and continue to live in the conditions that we lived in throughout 2021, and to keep the price down and suppressed on most of the meme stocks, while in that time zone they kept raising the machete and just killing a lot of plays, and a lot of their following, or a lot of their investors jumped ship and went somewhere else. But in a good way, they jumped over to our favorite stocks. Again, guys, there's many stocks obviously out there, but there's some that I personally am super just bullish on. In due time, you will see why. And those are like a couple of those are SEN, SENN, which was naked before the ticker symbol, and bbig. I've mentioned a lot of my videos, and in due time we shall see what happens with that. So now that this is out of the way, the repo and the reverse repo is still there, obviously, on a daily routine, but it should start going down according to Mr. Powell and what he have given to us. The crazy part is the market did not, like, as we mentioned before, when you see the number go up in repo and reverse repo, that means the market is getting stronger and stronger. That's what the meaning of that is. I mean, you go and search it and you can see that the rise in repo and reverse repo transactions is a sign showing that the market is getting stronger. And the higher it gets, the more strong the market is. Well, guess what? We're breaking records. We were in the trillions already, which, again, the market have never seen a daily repo and reverse repo transactions that amass above $1 trillion. We were averaging that for the majority of the second half of, right before the second half of 2021. And we haven't went under that in the 2022. We've been so high above the trillion. I mean, above the 1.5 even. Almost by the end of January 31st of 2021. December 31st, 2021, which is the last day of the year, they literally almost did a $2 trillion transaction. It was 1.9 trillion repo and reverse repo transactions. Now, what do you think could be? For me, here's what one theory that could come from that. Those is showing out, well, one, there's that much money out there in the system. And with all these entities, whether brokers, financial systems, whether it's banks, it shows that there's that much money and liquidity in the system itself. Now, why is the market like this? Why isn't it like crazy high? Well, that's why. That's what's soon to be. On that day, we shall fact check. Soon to be the case, because you hear the market is terrible right now, and you hear there's some hedge funds that are reaching out to other bigger investment groups and other hedge funds for some loan money. Loan me, give me money. Well, according to the national money depository, which is the Fed in this case, the market, and Jerome Powell came out yesterday and said there's no need for us to do this anymore. We're going to start raising the hikes, because the tax hikes, because the market doesn't need us anymore. That's according to the numbers, because the figures are going up. But why are these hedge funds are falling like this? Because from the get-go, the whole thing was just about kind of like patching. They were patching. Many illegal forms were used in this whole movement. We know about many, but personally for me, it became unlimited when they were able to somehow dump everything into the dark pools, and that's the only thing that has been carrying them day by day. A lot of people has been pushing and asking for the dark pools to be banned or whatnot. And truth of the matter is, there is no way the dark pools can be banned from the market, because it's like the idea of them not coexisting is impossible, because you need the dark pool for proper use, for big regulations and big entities to conduct business and trade securities without affecting the overall market. I mean, not every time a big institute is going to buy 5 million AMC shares or GameStop shares or Tesla shares, that does not mean it goes and dumps it straight onto the state, like on their Webull or on their TD Ameritrade app, and automatically the stock is soaring like 50. You get what I'm saying, guys? Like, this is how, like, you also need it so it does not, so these big institutes don't manipulate you. Because if they go ahead and like buy that much on the market and then dump that much on the market, do you know what little chance we have to affect the price? We can affect the price as far as all of us as a mass. We saw that in the Reddit movement, and we see that in the AMC and the GameStop movement. The only difference is that we're being suppressed, obviously, and I broke down in a lot of those videos of how. But if there was no dark pools, we will be literally nothing. Like, we will be screwed left and right, because there's just will be no stock market. There's no way. It will be so affected by the big boys that no one will even think about making some sort of move and create a movement and let's go push for this stock and all jump on board, because right away at its tracks, someone with interest from an institution or something, personal interest, could see that, and before it starts they could easily go ahead and dump hard on it if they were all trading on the market, and we would lose the play right there and then. So the dark pools are needed, but what is needed also, or what is not needed, is us being involved in it, or them in being involved with us. So it's made specifically for institutes to conduct their business and do their thing without affecting the market. Now you're asking me like, okay, so what do we do now? Like, what? That's it? We don't get no justice? They don't give no justice? So what do we do? Well, there is of course, we just are not supposed to coexist within each other. We're not supposed to be routed through a dark pool to ultimately get, but we were needed for that, so that they can get the money they needed from the feds, so they can continue their bullshit that they're doing with us. Sorry for this is probably my first swear on this channel, but again, this is important, guys. So that's why I'm coming at you with all these videos, longer videos this time, and I hope that it's making a lot of sense to you. Because if you don't, please make some comments, ask any questions. I'll be more than happy to explain what I'm getting to, but that's why I'm taking you step by step, and this is why it's very important. So yeah, so they needed that to happen. They needed us to be there so they can ultimately get their ultimate prize, which is the money they need to keep suppressing us. Now, what they could have really done a long time ago is, and this is something that they couldn't really do. Like I'm saying they should have done, but they can't do it. There's no way they can do it, which is let all the plays run the day that they were supposed to run. And that would have meant Armageddon for the globe, because there was no way all the amount of short that was on all these meme stocks, if you add them up and no interference, no malpractice was done, nothing can pay for the damages that were done. Now, does it make it like, is that supposed to make you understanding? Like, oh, well, okay, now I'm understanding. We don't want the globe to end. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that unfortunately, when this is thing, I hope that when this thing is done, that the prison sentences that are handed out, one, are going to be throughout the whole sector, around the whole sector, and hopefully that they pay with so much time on those things. Because yes, we all would have to compromise on as far as what we will take and what the price stock will end up going to, but we should not have to compromise with the other part too, which is the legal aspect of things, which means they have to pay what they have and what they can pay and what is available from the DTCCC, and whatever last penny is available for us, we want it. But on top of that, because I know that it's even that, with all that, that's still not enough for what we're rightfully should be for us. I think afterwards there should be, like, the punishments that these guys will get should be as severe as the amount of money we could have gotten in return as well. The remainder of the debt that they should have been able to pay. Now, whatever that amount is, who knows? God knows. That comes back down to you, to me, and to everyone else. But